for being here, and we are very appreciative of your participation. So I am seeing my executive director, Dr. Donna Powell Wilson, who is on. I crave your indulgence, ED, while we await just a couple minutes for a few more persons to enter in the room. Thank you. I'm just checking, Alan. I'm not hearing the sound. I'm not sure if that's the experience for the other persons. I also want to welcome our staff members who are on. I'm hearing, yes, we're hearing sound now. Thank you.
Favor in your sight. Say, Lord, please, Lord, please, hear my heart's cry. Shout this out, say, I'm desperately waiting
For
just to be where you are. So what will you do? I'll cross the high and say, Lord, please, Lord, I'll travel near and far. Hear my heart. Shout it out, say, for your glory. Shout this out, say, I'm desperately waiting. I will do just to be whatever it takes, just to see you. So what will you do? I really want to see you. I don't understand, just to see you, to behold you as my King. Let's sit together, y'all. For your glory, I will do anything just to see you, to behold you as my King. 'Cause I wanna be where you are, gotta be where you are, oh Lord. Can I tell you this, Apostle? It was 2006. I was at a leadership conference, and the Lord told me it was time for me to leave my father and go to Atlanta. I had nothing in Atlanta. I didn't have a job. I didn't have nothing. And he said, you have 4 months to move and go to Atlanta. And I didn't understand why. And so when I got there, I was kicking and screaming and crying. I didn't want to leave my daddy. And I got to Atlanta. I walked into a church, and the worship leader started saying, for your glory. And I lifted my hands and I said, God, if it makes me uncomfortable, if I don't understand it, I just want to be where you are. So the fact that you asked me to sing this morning, it just I understand. Because my prayer all of these years has been, I don't understand what you're doing right now, but I want to be where you are. I don't have to understand what you're doing right now, but I gotta be where you are. I'm talking to some people in this room. God has instructed you to do some stuff that you don't understand, but I dare you, lift up your hands and open up your mouth in this moment and tell them, I just want to be where you are. I just gotta be where you are. I just want to be where you are. I just gotta be where you are. I just want to be where you are. I just gotta be where you are. Gotta be where you are. Can we do it one more time? Say, I wanna be where you are. Gotta be where you are. Gotta be where you are. Whatever I need is there. Yeah. Everything I need is there. Yeah. Gotta be where you are.
Come on, say it again. Gotta be where you are. Come on, raise that all over the room. Oh! Lift those hands all over this place. Now open up your mouth and worship this amazing God. In your presence is where I want to be. In your presence is where I want to be. In your presence is where I'm gotta be. I want to be where you are, Jesus. Hey! In the presence of the Lord, there is fullness of joy. There is fullness of joy in your presence, God. The joy of the Lord is here. I said the joy of the Lord is in this place. Come on, 20 more seconds, just worship Him. God, we want you. Your will be done. Your kingdom come. Gotta be where. Last time. For your glory, I'll do the uncomfortable thing, 'cause I wanna see you, wanna see you. It's scary, but for your glory, I will do it. Even though I can't see clearly, I'll still do it. To behold you. One more time. No.
Okay, so we are at, well, we have 21 persons in the room, and now is a good of any time to start. At CCCJ, we're very inclusive, and so we gave some time, but we must begin in the interest of time. So we're going to invite Mr. Jason McIntosh, and he will be speaking to us about some of our programs. I'm not sure. We have a multiplicity of programs, and I'm sure you won't be able to speak to all. And he's the assistant in the curriculum department. So he's the assistant curriculum officer in the department, and he serves, well, a multiplicity of communities, because if we are heading community colleges, then we serve you. And that is what is good about it. We're on the verge of, or on the cusp of, having some very new programs, and some persons who were at risk and would have been excluded in former times. We are now coming with some programs to ensure that our nation is educated, because we understand that an educated nation will augur for development of our country. So I now invite Mr. McIntosh to speak to our programs. Mr. Jason McIntosh.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Gray Dwyer. Good afternoon and good evening, everyone. Good evening to our executive director, and to all who took the time out to join. Pleasant good evening to you. Yes, so at the Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica, we have myriads of programs that span across different academic disciplines. And so it is, we have various levels of programs also. We have from the certificate, we have diploma, associate, and bachelor's programs under our belt. So earlier I did make mention that we have programs that spans across numerous disciplines, such as hospitality and tourism management, construction management, the business field, the health sector, the education sector, science and technology, information technology society. So those are just some of the programs that we offer. And here at the CCCJ, we pride ourselves in ensuring that our curricula are aligned to the labor market. And so, for instance, recently we developed 3 health-related programs that came out of a call from the government, namely the Associate of Science in Pharmacy Technician. And so for those of us who are on this platform and are interested in that area, you have the opportunity to apply at any of our member colleges, specifically Trenchtown Polytechnic and also Excelsior Community College. They are the ones who are currently offering that program. We also have the certificate and diploma in phlebotomy, as well as the certificate and diploma in patient welfare and home care. And as I made mention earlier, Excelsior Community College as well as Trenchtown Polytechnic College are the current member institutions who are offering those programs. So those are just an example of the most recently developed programs that we have. Of late, here at the CCCJ, we would have signed an MOU with the Ministry of Education, in that the CCCJ now has complete control for the occupational associate degrees. And so with those, we have currently 15 programs that will be ready for this academic year. And they span the health sector, the hospitality sector, the information technology, business sector, the logistics arena. So we basically here at the CCCJ, we have a number of programs in different fields for people with varying interests. And so there is something in our member colleges for someone to do regardless of whatever it is that they would like. And so for our academic programs, for instance, our associate programs, you to gain entry into our institutions, you would definitely need at least, in terms of matriculation requirements, at least 5 CXCs, depending on the program that you're going to be entering. You might be required, it is required of you certain specific subjects. Like for instance, if you're going to be entering a health-related program, or maybe a health-related program, you'll be required to possess at least 2 or 3 science subjects, along with the compulsory math and English CXC or CSEC subjects. Additionally, so our associate degrees, they span 2 years, and if it is that you desire to continue to the bachelor's level, you can continue on that same program and do an additional 2 years to be awarded with a Bachelor of Science in whatever program. Like for instance, we have applied computer engineering technology, we have business administration, there is criminal justice, we have the bachelor's program, we have hospitality and tourism management, information technology, computer science, and those programs are just some of the programs that we have. And so while I was explaining that these programs are also a part of our bachelor's programs, we also have them at the associate degree level. As regards the occupational associate degrees, to be matriculated into that program, you basically have to have at least a level 2 NVQJ certification to be accepted in that program. And so you can reach out to any of our member colleges, or you could reach out to us directly at the CCCJ, and we can provide any other further guidance that you so desire. That's pretty much as a basic synopsis of the programs that we offer here at the Council of Community Colleges of Jamaica. Thank you. Mrs. Redwar. It's also important to note, ladies and gentlemen, that within our program, the suite of programs that we offer, there are also some general education courses that—
Mr. McIntosh, you're a little bit low. I'm not sure if it's something with my audio or it's the internet that gave the break.
Oh, I'm not sure it probably could be the internet, because I'm actually using data because of the rain, I'm out of Wi-Fi. So I'm not sure if anybody else is hearing me.
You're clearer now.
I'm much clearer?
Yes,
okay.
Probably it's my space.
Yes. So I was saying that along with the suite of programs that we offer at the Council of Community Colleges, that there are a list or a number of general education courses that our students have to engage in. And one thing that I can support in saying is that our programs can stand to scrutiny by virtue of the fact that they are accredited by the University Council of Jamaica, and we engage in rigorous reviews of our programs just to ensure that they are current, and whatever trends and issues that are happening in the education landscape, that in those review process, that these are taken into account. And so it is, we pride ourselves in aligning our curricula to these set of developments that happen from time to time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. McIntosh. Quite inclusive. Just to have an idea of the persons who are on, I would love for you to put in the chat your affiliation, just to give us an idea of the persons who are participating in our town hall this evening. We do care about our stakeholders, and it would be good for us to have a mapping of the persons who are here. And I'm sure that even though this is our first, it's definitely not our last. We'll be doing a series of town halls so that we can interact with our constituents. And so we are aligning our programs to meet persons where they are. And this is new paradigm. I want to congratulate the CCCJ on their programs. I am very much interested and, is passionate about especially those programs that are applied programs, because we realize that there are a lot of markets in other geographical areas that can benefit from the skill set of our workers. I mean, we're losing some of our teachers, but nonetheless, there are other markets now that we are serving in terms of when we train, and because of the intensity of our training and the value of our educators and what they bring to the table, a number of other persons are seeking persons from our workforce, and workforce development is very current, and we are aware of all of those, because at the CCCJ, all our decisions are informed. And so we do researches and we do surveys. So we are not just doing blindly, but we're in tune with what is operating in the space, so that our programs are both contextual and relevant. Thank you very much, Mr. McIntosh. And I'm sure I'll be calling on you later on when we do field questions, because we're also here to field questions and to hear a few comments about some of our programs, or for persons to get information on future programs. Thank you so much. So let me see those emojis. Remember, we're in a town hall, so we are grateful for these persons. They're so vested in education that they're here at this time, so that it is a convenient time. You're in the comfort of your homes, and we are here facilitating you. Thank you, Mr. McIntosh. By way of our program, we'll now invite our Executive Director, Dr. Donna Powell-Wilson, who will be giving a presentation on the affiliated institutions and the benefits of enrolling in these programs. And so we want to welcome her to this platform. We also want to laud her for the work that she has done in the tertiary space. And like I said to you, these are very interesting times. Dr. Donna Powell-Wilson. Yeah, man, clap her. That is a part of our culture, that we have to make persons welcome. Thank you, Dr. Powell Wilson.
Thank you, Mrs. Gray Dwyer. And good evening to persons on Zoom and also on YouTube. We're indeed happy to have you here this evening. I recognize some of the names on Zoom, and I'm trusting that the persons on YouTube, they are persons who will really benefit from the information as well. Thanks to our new marketing officer, Miss Allen, for coordinating and implementing this, our first, I think this is our first town hall, if not first or second. And as Mrs. Gray Dwyer indicated, we will be having a number of these. So welcome everyone from our member institutions. Great to have you on. And together we work for the betterment of our country in education. So I'll share briefly with you because we want to get the questions on the CCCJ. Okay, so by way of information, the CCCJ, we are concluding our 20th anniversary. We were established in 2001, actually December 31. So yes, in 2001, our parliamentarians would work on New Year's Eve. So we are empowered to do a number of things, to include supervise and coordinate the work of community colleges, curriculum development and review, examination and assessment, and certification. So these are standardized activities that we do at the CCCJ and also professional development. Our member institutions, we are strategically located across the island. And from this map, you will see that we are in all parish except for Trelawney. And because of the proximity of the institutions in St. Anne and St. James, Manchester, St. Elizabeth, Westmoreland, we do not believe that the persons in Trelawney are underserved because they're in close proximity to our other member institutions. So we are in every nook and cranny on the island, and we believe that that's a strategic move so that access to quality education is not just for some, but for everyone. So here we are with a decision to make. Having received, for students who have just received their CSEC results or their CAPE result, what do we do? Do we go to college? Do we go to university? Do we go to work? Do we go to the sixth form pathway program? We're saying that our member institutions that are strategically located, you can access one of those. In fact, there are 10 member institutions. We have Brownstone Community College, we have Bethlehem Moravian College, we have College of Agriculture, Science and Education, we have Excelsior Community College, we have Nakalva Polytechnic College, Knox Community College, Monique College, Montego Bay Community College, we have Portmore Community College, and the Trenchtown Polytechnic College. So there are 5 institutions where you'll find community college in their names, 3 multidisciplinary, and we have 2 polytechnic colleges. So why should you choose to study at one of our member institutions? And Mrs. Gray Dwyer spoke in her opening remarks about sustainability. What we do, we try to sustain, and we believe in playing our part in Vision 2030, and by extension,
playing our part in advancing the world in the sustainable development goals. The SDG number 4 speaks to quality education. And at our member institution, we are saying that if you were to attend one of those, you will have access to affordable higher education. You will have access to affordable continuing education. Our programs are flexible, so institutions will offer the programs face-to-face, online, or hybrid that is both face-to-face and online. Our programs are so designed so that each program, there is a skills-based component where all learners are required to do not community service, work experience component. So you get the practical experience while you are studying in one of our programs. We also look at SDG 17, which speaks to partnership for the goal. We believe in the products that we offer to our member institution and by extension to learners. And we are aware that persons have choices and we respect that. So we look for partnership with other institutions where, having completed either our associate or applied associate or occupational associate degrees or bachelor degree, persons can matriculate into other programs. So some of these partnerships that we have partnership with Heart NSTA Trust, and this partnership, one of the things this partnership is looking at is dual certification. So having completed either a course in Heart at one of the Heart training agencies or one of the CCCJ member institution, learners, we are working so that learners will get dual certificate. We have an MOU with Thompson Rivers University, and that is located in Canada. We have an MOU with Kirkwood Community College, which is located in the USA, and with the Jamaica Theological Seminary. The MOU with the Jamaica Theological Seminary is for the Bachelor in Social Work. So learners who would have completed or associate degree in social work, they want to have another experience. We recognize that. So they can matriculate based on this MOU with JTS. Learners can matriculate into their Bachelor in Social Work program. Or MOUs with Thompson Rivers University and Kirkwood Community College would see students and faculty being given the opportunity to go on exchange programs. When our learners would visit any of these institutions, yes, they will receive the credit for the work they would have done there. It also provides for learners from that institution, those institutions, to come to Jamaica to access our programs. I will say that our programs in the member institutions, they are of the highest quality. They can withstand any scrutiny because these programs are accredited by the University Council of Jamaica. If they're not accredited, they're up for reaccreditation. If they're not up for reaccreditation, it means it's a new program. And remember, accreditation is a process. So if it's a new program to that institution, it means that the institution would have to see a batch of graduates before the program is accredited. It doesn't mean that the program is of any less quality because it's a process. So the institution would have started the process already. So our institutions are offering quality education. And of course, these you can get at a very affordable cost. Thank you very much. Mrs. Graydwire? I'm not seeing Mrs. Gray Dwyer, but at this point on our program, I think we will take questions. Persons on YouTube and on Zoom, you may type your question in the chat or on YouTube. We will field those. Those on the Zoom, you may raise your hand and we will acknowledge you. Okay, any question for us? Okay, there's a question, sorry. How much would it cost to do an associate degree? It varies from, it varies. So the type of program that you're doing will determine the cost. If you're doing like hospitality and tourism management, that has a highly practical component, the cost is a little more. Also varies depending on the institution. But the cost for the associate degree, I would say it ranges from anywhere $180,000 to $250,000 per year. Now, those of us who are familiar with the fees, the cost in the tertiary institution, that in some other institution, that is perhaps for one semester. So yes, it may sound a lot, but it is the most cost effective. And I'm not saying cheap because we have a tendency when things are cheap, we don't want it. It's the most cost effective on the island. And as I indicated, the programs are accredited by UCJ, so it's quality. Mr. James?
I'm so sorry. My microphone opened by accident, but I just want to probably share a word or two to the viewers and the listeners that please remember that there is the 6-form pathways program in which you can transition in some of these programs offered by CCCJ. And if you transition through the SFPP, the government of Jamaica, once you're leaving grade 11, will be providing some form of assistance in the form of grants. And that grant is valued at $60,000 per student per year. So that is a very good advantage that I would love for all the grade 11 leavers to utilize. And it means that if a program is for 150,000, the government will pay 60, and then you will pay the balance of, I think, about $90,000. I think that is a phenomenal opportunity that you should take advantage of. So all the best as to continue to transition. And there's almost a program for all the dreams and aspirations that you have. And there are sometimes when, as students and parents, it's not so easy to decipher, to put a finger on the type of program or the type of career path. And so don't hesitate to contact your local community colleges near you, because they will assist you in guiding you, based on what you like, your personalities and so on, to the right program. So what I'm saying basically is to not delay this opportunity. We are here to assist, and we want you on board. And so, for all the questions and queries you have, just contact the local community colleges. So make good use of the opportunities, everyone. And I'm sure CCCJ, with the long-standing history of quality education from from everything, within everything that they do, you will be well taken care of. Thank you, Dr. Paulis.
Thank you.
Thank you, Odin. We are so full of talent. So one moderator was thrown out by this internet, and we had an able member of staff. Dr. Donna Powell will see have a powerful set of employees who will deliver powerful work. And it is because we are so multifaceted, and at a stone's throw, we could have somebody who could come into this space. I know you're facilitating questions. I'd ask for persons just to give us an indication of where you are, the organization that you're representing, and you could feel the questions. Odin, thank you very much. And I like that media voice.
You're welcome.
I know you smile like that because we're in a town hall and we're making it so we are providing the comfortability so you can feel at ease in asking questions. So I'm sure that Dr. Powell Wilson and members of the curriculum department are able, as well as those persons who are working on our very new OAD programs, can field some questions. So we don't want to leave the platform without allowing you the opportunity to ask some questions.
All right, there's a question in the chat.
Hey, just Colby chiming in here real quick. How you doing?
I am good, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. I just want to say I was looking at a bunch of things, and I want to say hypothetically, I really do like what you guys are doing here, and I really enjoy it. Thank you.
You are most welcome. Thank you for sharing with us. All right. So there's a question. How will students matriculate to Hart? All right. So what we're looking at is, right now is dual certification.
Hey,
So,
Donna, can you mute real quick?
Sorry,
hello?
Kobe, could you mute your mic, please?
Yeah, Andrea, just mute your screen, please.
Okay.
Go ahead, Dr. Powell.
Great. So what we're looking at with Hart is for dual certification. So let us take a program, one of our newer program, the occupational associate degree in restaurant management operation, I think it is called. We want to see how a student in one of our member institutions can complete that associate degree while getting the certification from the NC-TVET through Hard Trust NSTA. Or we also want to look at the learners in one of the Hart NSTA institutions. They're doing their level 2, level 3, level 4, level 5, because in Hart Trust, there are varying levels. How can those students complete our associate degree in the particular area and receive our certification? So that is the big ticket item we are looking at now.
Hey, Colby here, just chiming in. Julia Edwards put some profanity in the chat. I just wanted to point that out for you guys.
Thank you for pointing that out. I'm sorry, but Julia?
Julia, there are some protocols to be observed in the virtual space as much as we want to facilitate all of our stakeholders. If those
I think
Dr.
someone
protocols are
Foundation
not
and
adhered
team,
to, we may have to remove
that is
her.
actually not me.
Oh,
I actually did not do that. That is
oh,
obviously a
it's
hack.
my Julia
Julia, it
Edwards.
says your
Oh
name,
yes,
Julia. Come
you're
on.
Julia Edwards. That is actually a hack.
Oh,
that
that
is
is
not me.
actually a spam. Could you remove Kobe from this space?
Hey,
Quickly.
Andrea, just mute yourself real quick. Thanks.
Could you remove
Hey,
Kobe, please?
mute yourself real quick, please. Thanks. Julia.
Remove Kobe,
Hey,
please. Remove Kobe. Is he out?
Yes, he is.
Thank you. My apologies. Because when I say Julia Edwards, I said, well, it must be another Julia Edwards. She's actually one of my mentors here. So apologies. And sometimes in the midst of us reaching our community, other persons such as hackers may be here. This is not the place for them, and we just go on with our show and see them as non-entity. So there are some other questions, Doc, that is speaking to the accreditation internationally of our program. There was a question that was asked.
Wow. And I must say, Julia, when you spoke, because I was wondering who is Julia? Julia, when you spoke, I know that couldn't be you. So let me apologize to you, Julia, for this happening on our space. Really, really a sad moment, but we'll not be daunted by that.
Doc, it's very common. We had a student conference with over 500 students, and we had a lot of hackers there. So what we do is just continue what we're doing, and because the devil is a liar too. That is the other aspect of it. It's our prolific nights, and we're serving the community. So we're just going to move on. It has happened. It has happened in the spaces. So what we'll have to do in the future is to ensure that we are screening the persons who are coming on to our Zoom. And even sometimes when we do that, they're able to infiltrate.
All right, all right. So there's another question. Thank you, Mrs. Gradwire. There's another question. Is it possible for students with level 2 certification from NC-TVET to matriculate into the associate degree programs? I know, yes, it is possible. They'll be required to do some, I'm going to call it bridging courses. They'll be required to do some courses. However, let me not speak out of turn. Mr. McIntosh, for the OAD, and Mr. James, for the OAD, is it level 2 or level 3 that is the minimum?
The minimum for the OAD is a level 2, Doc.
Level 2, right. So yes, for the occupational associate degree, they can matriculate with level 2, and they will be required to do, if they do not have CSEC Math or City and Guild Math and English stage 3 or CSEC Math and English up to a grade 3, then they'll be required to do our foundation concept math and foundation English. Tracy and Terry, and I trust that answers your question. And there's another one. Are these degrees recognized internationally? Once our degrees are accredited by UCJ, yes, they are. They are acknowledged internationally. And that's one of the reasons we are able to have these partnerships with institutions abroad in Canada and in the US, because they recognize and they accept the work we're doing and also the accreditation from UCJ. Go ahead, Mrs. Gredwa.
I was asking whether or not there were other questions. This is a forum we really dedicated all of this afternoon to answering those questions. So please ask the questions in the spaces. And Doc, thank you for your very deep responses. what it is saying to us is that, the work is there to be done. And like Doc says, I want to reiterate that our programs are world class. I don't know if persons were in this space when they were talking about some of the alignments that are being done, and there are so many countries that are asking for our graduates. And so even if you won't work in this region, there is a demand for graduates in international spaces. So CCCJ, you're really creating waves. Any other questions? Can I ask the marketing rep just to put or the name of our site or all our handles so that persons can also ask? I know sometimes persons don't want to ask in the forum, but we'll put our social media handles so that you are able to ask us questions. And maybe some of your questions are of a personal nature if you want to ask a question that is specific to you. And we do have an information portal that deals with these questions that would be specific to individuals and specific to your programs.
Hi, Mrs. Graydwar.
Yes, yes, Mr. McIntosh.
While it is that our participants gather their questions, I would just like to point out that here at the Secretariat, that we try to remain accessible at all times. Given that we understand how things are and the demands on individual lives. And so as a result of that, we have an online platform where our students or prospective students can engage with our programs instead of having to be there face to face, because we understand how this world is and that there are so many demands in our personal space. And so with this online platform, students can have a chance to complete their program of study within at their pace. And so currently we are repurposing 2 of our programs for the online space, which is the Associate of Science and Bachelor of Science in Environmental Studies. And we already have on our space the Bachelor's and Associate in Business Administration, along with our general education courses. And so if it is that someone was going to be turned out that's saying, okay, I probably can't attend because work demands it, we have that option for you where you can still access your education. It could be that you are across borders. You are within the region, or you're living in other areas outside of the region. You still can access these programs. So please don't be afraid to reach out to us. We're here to assist you and to provide you with all the required information needed.
Mr. McIntosh, I'm so happy for that. We were talking about responding to today's challenges. Why did you come off camera? Our mission at CCCJ speaks to that, responding to today's challenges, creating tomorrow's opportunity by promoting intellectual discovery, entrepreneurial skills, social and ethical awareness, and economic opportunities for all through education that transform lives, builds community, and improves society locally and internationally. So what I'm hearing from you is that we are living our mission in that we responded to the changes that were brought about by COVID, and now we have hybrid programs. And why it was interesting that you came on and said that, there was someone in the chat who was congratulating the CCCJ, and I'm not reading verbatim, but it says training global citizens. So in you repurposing these programs and allowing persons in remote spaces to be able to access your course, that is new paradigm. That is new paradigm. And I want to congratulate the CCCJ team, because in former times, there was an issue of accessibility. And accessibility is very important, especially when we look at questions such as, how do we sustain, how we allow our programs to be inclusive, how we reach especially those who are at risk. And I know that your OAD program especially will treat with our students who are at risk, because prior to that, those students would have gone into other fora and not be noticed. So it is important that you spoke to it. And so I would say COVID, you know, there was a curse in a part of it, but most of it has been a blessing. And what I'm hearing, and town hall meeting is about discussion. That's why I stop you here. You discuss and you speak to things, is the fact that you lived your mission by responding. So the CCCJ responded, and there were persons who stopped in the space, but there's continuity, because I see now that you're also continuing those programs to include hybrid programs, and I am happy you spoke about it. Are there any other questions? Is there anyone on the platform that needs to comment and so on? That is what this space for. So a town hall meeting is not just about us impinging on you and telling you about our programs, and that is why I'm happy. Instagram and Twitter, right? So these are the handles being placed in the chat. Screenshot those and get those, because like I said before, I understand that in some spaces persons may not want to ask certain specific questions, but the thing that I know about this organization, that they always respond. And talking about living your mission, this is what it is about. I spoke to 2 students, I think it was 2 days ago, and they felt in former years, and if this is my Julia, I know Julia can attest to it, that in former years, persons who were in more pragmatic areas and the practical areas, the value that were to be given to those areas, you know, they were underplayed. And simply because in terms of sustainability, when one did these programs, you could go straight in the world of work. Now you can continue into occupational degrees. And this is newness. And this is us looking at the research to say, these are the persons who needs to be served. And it's prolific. That's all I can say. Thank you, Mr. McIntosh.
It is. And we continue, as you may mention earlier, to respond to the challenges and even to create even more opportunities, because I might just be letting the cat out the bag, but we are set on basically pulling from some of our programs courses that can be converted into micro credentials. And so it is for those individuals who want to get certification in a particular area, but they probably just don't have the time or the funding to do what you'd call it, the full program. By virtue of what we're going to be offering, though these micro credentials or stackable credentials, they can do these courses at one point, and then they start pulling them together until they would have completed a whole program. And so we continue to respond, and we know the challenges that are out there. And so by virtue of that, that is how we, as I say, we respond to the challenges and we create opportunities for others out there.
I thank you for that, Mr. McIntosh. And so when we talk about global citizens, we're talking about traversing a space that otherwise wouldn't be possible in a developing country. So we are really, really charting new paths. And you spoke about the credential system because there are a lot of our mature learners too, who, would otherwise be disenfranchised and disengaged because of how the pathways would have been set. So now that we're acknowledging those things, we're really optimizing or standardization of our programs and so on. So I see this as something that could only augur better for the future. And you look, we don't have any crystal ball, but I'm hearing you and I'm looking to what the future looks like. And it's good that we have such a space as what is being created by the CCJ for these ideas and the ideologies to be developed to serve our nations, children, and our people. One of the things that was in this space as it relates to discussion was that of the value of the community college, and Doc spoke to it too when she spoke about the program. One of the big issues that we had in the last 5 years or even more was that of funding tertiary education. Now I'm hearing that there are grants, and I know, and Doc could speak to it too, that there are also some partnerships that have been established with overseas colleges, because sometimes our students need to be in other contexts, in other spaces, to enjoy and understand different cultural underpinnings so that we can really, really be these global citizens. So I know that CCCJ is looking at every aspect of the holistic development. So it's not just about academia, but it's the holistic development in terms of what the program offers and all of these connections and the collaborations that CCJ is making. So there's another question. It speaks to, do you have colleges offering anything for students who do not have CSEC, or only for those with the 5 CSEC subjects and more?
All right. So our mantra is, we take you with what you have, we take you where you are now, and we will come to us with what you have, and we will take you where you want to go. So if you have no subjects, and I'm speaking about adults now, not students who just completed grade 11, because there are programs for those students in our colleges too. Mr. James spoke about those earlier. So if you have less than 5 CSEC subjects, one of our member institution or the member institution that is nearest to you has a program for you. So go there. Adults, you have no subject or you have less than 5. A member institution closest to you has a program for you. So our institutions, they have continuing education programs. We have developed some certificate programs that you do not need 5 CSEC subjects for. All right. So yes, we take you with what you have, and we will work with your member institutions, will work with you to get you where you want to go.
And Doc, you actually have a response. Thank you. Sounds good. Talking about when we say multifaceted, you're living that. So there's a program for every facet of the society in the CCCJ's member institution. I think we should use up the emoji. This deserves one of these. Yes. Because in the virtual space, we kind of the clap hands and so on. But, when we look at our country, we're always highlighting the negative. But here is an organization, an institution that would have done their homework and are looking at the society, because you are developing programs to meet the needs of persons where they are. So you have for pre-college personnel, and you have for mature personnel, and you have mature entry. Yeah, man, keep the applause going. Thank you for that, Tracy. It's really worked. So we have a lot of positive things to look towards. And one of the things that I know, in fact, one of our renowned heroes spoke about how as a race we can improve, and that is through education, not just for the monetary aspect, but that's of when we speak to self-actualization. And the only way I know that that can be done is through education. And we're looking at the academia, and we're looking at the applied, and we're looking at all facets. So no one is being left behind. And you're really living the mantra. Everybody, what they can learn must learn. So you're really living the mantra of the Ministry of Education. Are there any other questions? The truth is that the presentations would have been very comprehensive. And when you go to a space and you find that the information flows like that, it speaks to the commitment of the organization. It also speaks to the work that is being done. And I know too that we manage by data. So the information is not just information that would have been thought about, you know, from any space, but we have research. We're big on research in terms of finding out what is there, looking at what exists in other jurisdictions, and we are using those to develop our programs as well as our people. Any other questions? And keep the applause going. You're getting a lot of applause in the chat. And in my own space as the moderator, I want to say to you that the idea of this town hall is really, really a novel idea. It's a novel idea, because the truth is that when we extend ourselves into the community and people can come in a space and get information, even though there's access, there is greater access, and it shows that the institution is on the mission to serving all of the constituents. So this is another idea. I know, and I'm positive that we'll be having some more town halls. And as we grow programs and as we interact with the different spaces and some of our partners, that we will have more information to take to you. So we're taking it to you, and you can also come to us for intricate information that you require. If there aren't any more questions, Doc, can I be guided? Is there any other information that we'd want to put in this space? The night as really, it is a success, resounding, I should say. And I see the smile, so I know I am so proud of the work of this organization. And I am saying it because I really mean it. And this is setting the pace for other organizations and institutions to follow, because one of the biggest issues that we have is that of public education, and is public education in this space. So sometimes we're utilizing other media, but we're not getting to the space. Once here, no, we are allowing, we are facilitating, and these are interesting times.
Thank you, Mrs. Gray Dwyer. As we close, just want to encourage persons on Zoom and those on YouTube. You know someone, whether a student who would have just received CSEC grades, CAPE grades, they don't know what to do. Remember, they can get support from the ministry through the Sixth Form Pathway Program. So direct them to one of our member institutions. We are strategically located. So once they study at home, it means that they will not have to worry about paying transportation, boarding, and all of that. So they are saving there. So we talk about migration. Migration can happen from parish to parish as well. So let us limit that. Also, if they're adults, you want to read, adults who want to read tool, they're thinking of going in another area, encourage them to visit one of our member institutions, and there is a program there for everyone, I can assure you. So spread the word to persons you know, and let us together advance our country, advance our region, advance the world through education. If you know persons who are outside of Jamaica, they're either in the Caribbean, even our own Jamaicans in the Caribbean, or in the States, Canada, wherever they are, they can still access our programs because we have now, I think it's 5 programs for online delivery. So they can access our programs for wherever they are. So help us to spread the word as together we advance education. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm hearing the passion in you, but we are complaining a lot about those who are leaving our shores, but probably we need to have a focus on persons who are here and are still passionate. You hear the passion in our voice, and that speaks to the enthusiasm too that is placed in the work. And I just want to look at, as we look forward, I just want to restate our mission, or vision, sorry, which is a dynamic institution that is the epitome of high educational standards while advancing the work of community colleges, developing the Jamaican workforce, and promoting the benefits of obtaining a community college education. And this is vision. This is what we're looking at. And we're talking about sustainability. I believe that the CCCJ is well on the way to achieving all of what would have set out in our 2020 vision. And the fact is that we're doing it in a way that is so contextual. And you're gone, I like to code switch. So I would say CCCJ gone abroad. These programs that you're developing, because a lot of persons want to access programs. Yes. I think one of our colleges did, during their research, they talk about the internationalization of the community colleges. So I see the direction, I see your vision. And Dr. Donna Powell-Wilson, I want to congratulate you and your team and all the members that came to support you this afternoon, as well as I want to thank all of our stakeholders who came on just to be informed, and continue along the path of educating our public and serving for inclusion. This was really a success. And just show them some love, show CCCJ some love. But I don't know which one of the emojis you want to use. I like to use the clap one. Oh yes, and I see some thumbs up. Just get them across the screen, get them across the screen. One of the things that we have to show appreciation, and it's not about money, because look at the time, we're talking about way past work time. This is commitment, and we value commitment. We will be in all of our spaces promoting other town hall meetings that we will definitely have, and that the information will be shared, and that we continue to work assiduously to ensure that our nation is educated and we continue to have partnership. So I want to thank the staff, the council members, and all the persons that really worked hard to make this town hall a success. And I want to say special thanks to the marketing personnel, Miss Allen, as well as our presenters, our own executive director, as well as our assistant curriculum officer. We really appreciate you. Thank you and good speed.
Thank you
And
all.
God keep you. All right. Bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
So just look out some more. We'll be in these spaces, and I'm sure that you will also be taking this town hall face to face. But what the virtual does though is get everybody in one space so we can get the context.
All
Thank
right.
you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you. Continue to do God bless work.